You've got 11 people at the South Pole, 8 of them are scientists. And then you have a cook, a mechanic, and something else. They're all black. None of the scientists are. What do you think I think?
Mais le fait que tu sois noir, on sait que tu ne vas pas faire de carrière, donc on ne t'a pas donné le premier prix.
Il fratello della prostituta nigeriana, il lavavetri, autista alla guardia del corpo, terrorista arabo, venditore di tappeti.
La mamma di qualcuno africano, brasiliano.
L'immigrato clandestino.
Sempre una disgraziata nullatenente, analfabeta e ignorante.
What colors do you see in films? What representation do dark-skinned individuals get on screen? Where do these distinctions stem from? Who should be held responsible? Is it screenwriters, producers, the casting directors, or society? What do you remember of the man of color on screen? Since inception, Black actors have been limited to stereotyped characters such as maid, impoverished, loud, aggressive, prostitutes, seductive, gangsters, and all other blaxploitation tropes. When a Black actor plays a lead role, emphasis and camera angles are drawn to the curves and body shape, as if to compensate for her dark skin. Those who aren't curvaceous face difficult survival situations, as if they're attempting to prove a point about why they should be accepted and wanted like their fair-skinned peers. Bollywood is the world's second largest film industry, yet inequity persists and is deeply entrenched across their film and TV ecosystem. More often than not, when a black-skinned individual appears on screen, they are almost always associated with burial, as seen in Nollywood movies. Even the most well-known celebrities are light-skinned. Now, the question is, who sets the standards for beauty? Scanning through the European cinema, France, for instance, is not left out. It was clear that colorblindness became a problem for the Black population since the enacted restriction on race-related statistical data. Isa Maiga and her allies went to great lengths to bring this to light, but the situation is still far from being resolved.
On a survécu à tous les rôles de filles hyper sexualisées. Vous tous qui n'êtes pas forcément impactés par les questions liées à la couleur de la peau, pensez inclusion.
Des acteurs noirs, asiatiques et maghrébins dans les rôles principaux, c'est pour quand?
On aimerait bien.
Ça y est,
il y en a quelques-uns, ça arrive.
Ça y est.
C'est pas assez, il en faudrait beaucoup plus dans les seconds rôles. Je pense que c'est là que ça se fait.
Exactement.
Alors, dans certains castings, la couleur de peau peut-elle être considérée comme un handicap?
Oui, mais ça vient pas de nous, ça vient donc de la chaîne alimentaire.
D'accord.
Nous, on est relativement en bas de la chaîne alimentaire.
Oui, je comprends.
Tu vois.
En vrai, qui a le dernier mot sur le casting?
En France, en long métrage, réalisateur quand même, et producteur.
To the Simple Monoir is a perfect depiction of these challenges confronting the Black entertainers.
Rewatching some of the movies I used to love when I was a kid, rewatching them now, it's like, I don't love that word, but it's kind of a problematic representation of Black people sometimes, a lot of the times. And it's not always comfortable because it's either always, especially in French films, it's always either like the gangster or the prostitute or the person who just migrated from Africa because Africa was so troubled and they had to come to France to try and live a better life, but they're uneducated and they can't speak French properly, and that's seen as negative as well. And I don't really appreciate the Black representation in most French films, not all of them. it definitely impacts how people see you and talk to you, like in real life. Because I mean, I've seen a lot of the conversations that my friends on dating sites have with some white or sometimes not even just non-black men. And it's really like, it's the same narrative from those movies, you know, the hypersexualized, like wild jungle woman like that. So it's not always comfortable.
In Italy, the first mainly black Italian cast film was recently released on April 20th, 2021, demonstrating how far it took the country to achieve this milestone that should be considered a norm in the 21st century. Why did it take this long in the Italian media?
Lampedusa is this little island where we have a lot of influx of immigrants, not only black, right, but from all over the world. And the tragedy, the humanitarian tragedy that is going on, that has been going on for years. These people who are trying to pay a lot of money to get on board these unsafe vessels, and then they go to Italy, very often not even wanting to stay in Italy, but wanting to go further somewhere in Europe. And very often, you know, they drown, or they're saved, and so there is a whole narrative of the immigrants who are coming into Italy illegally, right? And so this is one of the images that persist, that are perhaps the strongest or the most frequent image of black people in Italy today, is this immigrant who is somehow helpless and who needs help, so somebody who needs to be pitied. So if we do have the presence of black people, then they're exceptional. They're exceptional athletes, they're exceptional singers or actors or things like that. What is missing, and this is the part of your question, what is the problem? What is missing is the representation of ordinary black stories and black people, and especially in view of the fact that today we do have black Italians in Italy. And I think this question of accepting the idea that there are black Italians in Italy today is something that Italy as a nation is really grappling with right now.
Hollywood is said to have a significant impact on other cinema and film institutions across the world. Knowing this as a fact is not enough. The problem of black underrepresentation appears to have improved. However, misogynistic roles continue to exist for black women. The evolution of black identity in Hollywood films is commendable, as the call for change has brought to light great film directors who have been able to cast minorities on screen. It is therefore evident that everywhere in the world, dark-skinned talents on screen and off-screen are not well represented in the entertainment industry, and allowing social media correct this anomaly would only lead to a division between generations of the elderly and young people. The traditional media should do better in clamoring for this change, and regulators should also create policies that will promote the inclusion of all minorities, not just blacks. Film regulatory bodies must do more to help curb the increasing number of stereotyped white gaze characters in Hollywood films, as well as a call for more representation in European, African, and Asian cinema. The aesthetics of any work of art is embedded in its diversity. We all make up the beauty in the universe: Black, Hispanic, Caucasian, and Asian. Let's embrace the diversity in nature. Let's take action.